Who is Kirby?
Kirby Fitzgerald is the engineer and owner of Electric Fossil Studios.
Okay.
AKA Silver Fox.
Yeah, we call him Silver Fox because he's like the youngest looking dude with the silverest hair.
There you go.
Sorry, Kirby.
Love you, Kirby.
I'm going to get a text message for this. I'm going to get like a text that says, bruh.
Oh, God, I hope so.
Be like, bro, thanks. But no, so how I met Kirby is the most interesting shit you'll ever hear in your life. So I bought a Ford Bronco in May of 2019. I called it my bachelor mobile.
Oh, nice.
It had like a 6-inch lift in it. And I bought this thing, and I was a young kid. I didn't really work on cars yet. Not that I really know how to work on cars. I can do what I know how to do. And that's about that.
Because you had to do
I
it.
know enough to make sure that 62 Catalina out in that driveway will get back to Frederica.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I had it. I drove it for months, and it was fine. We drove it to New Jersey to go see Leonard Skinner at PNC Art Center. It was fine, right? In 2019, Delaware changed the law to buy cigarettes from 18 years old, 21. I didn't turn 21 for 2 months. And I had to drive over to Denton, Maryland to buy them.
Gotcha.
Well, it was like 2 a.m. after me and Fez worked, and I wanted to go get cigarettes. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to go now. I'm not big on my cell phone. I grew up with that one.
Right.
I grew up with like one TV in the house, no internet, all that. So I'm old school real hard.
Yeah.
I leave my cell phone at the house. Now I don't. I have a wife now. So.
Yeah, you got to check in. Call.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have a wife now, so that's a little different. But back then, I was a single man. So I did whatever the hell I wanted. I left my phone at the house. I hopped in the truck, and I was like, I was in Harrington, so it's like, 15 minutes down, we're down Route 14.
Not far at all.
So I hopped down there to go over to Exxon by whatever that Maryland highway entrance is. And I go get cigarettes, and it's fine. And then I hop back, and I'm cranking Do You Know What I Mean by Oasis. I remember this. And like, it is as loud as I can get that 95 Bronco to like push it out of the speakers. All of a sudden, I feel what is like an explosion under my truck. And the whole back of the truck goes, poof. I threw my drive shaft off the front of the transfer case.
Oh, no.
Hit the ground, jackknifed the whole truck into the air. Busted it off the rear end. Truck landed. Truck landed back on its rear wheels, thank God. My drive shaft at 50 miles an hour went flying into a cornfield. Right?
Yeah.
But I didn't know that at the moment. I thought my transmission was sitting back, like for how it sounded and felt. I thought my transmission I was like, my heart's going 100 miles an hour. I get out, crawl under the truck. I was so glad to see my transmission. It took me 5 minutes to realize the drive shaft wasn't there. I was just because it was like 2 a.m, so nobody's coming down the road. So I'm just laying there under the truck, like, oh, thank fuck. I still have an E4OD.
But wait, it got worse.
Oh yeah, it got worse. Once I figured out, I was like, all right, I ain't getting home tonight. I have 4-wheel drive. How I ended up getting home was to drive it. I threw it 4-wheel, just drove it home front with the front going. But I didn't want to risk it at that point because I hadn't ever used 4-wheel drive in a 30-year-old truck.
Right.
20, 30-year-old truck. I didn't want to do that. I start walking. I was like, I don't have a cell phone. You ever drive from Harrington to Denton and like most of that drive for like 15 miles is nothing but farms?
Oh, yeah, it's boring.
It's most of
I'm in the middle of that.
There's like 2 turns.
Yeah,
That's it.
If that. I am in the middle of nothing. Even if I had a cell phone, I don't even know if there was reception.
Right.
So I just was like, it was like September. It wasn't that cold. So I just hopped out of my car. I was like, hell, fuck it. I guess I'm walking. I started walking back towards Denton because I was maybe a little closer to that than probably Harrington by a stretch.
Right.
Guy in a Jeep goes by, beeps like a jackass. And I was like, damn it. Here we go. It's like 2 a.m. I'm not in the mood. At least I got cigarettes, I guess.
Yeah.
But he goes by. He comes back. He goes, hey, do you need a ride? I just saw you. I saw you actually on my way in with your truck driving, and then I saw it on the side of the road. I turned around. I was like, are you going to murder me? And he goes, are you going to murder me? And I was like, all right, we're good.
Standard questions.
His name was Artie Robbins, and didn't know him from Adam.
Yeah.
He goes, where do you live? And I said, Harrington. He goes, well, that's really funny because I live down the street. I own Robbins Farm. And I was like, oh, can I have a ride? And he's like, well, of course. So I hop in the truck, and he's like, I just came out of here for beer. They didn't. They wouldn't. After 2 a.m., I think in Maryland, they won't sell it to you.
Right.
So I was like, well, lucky for you, I don't drink beer, and I got a case of Coors Light in my fridge.
There you
So
go.
if you drive me home, there's a case of beer with your name on it. And he was like, God, am I right? So I hop in his truck, and he starts asking me, like, who are you? What's your name? What do you do?
Right.
And I start telling him about Dutchman. This is 2 years in.
Yeah.
Right. And compared to the 8 now and the bags under my eyes. This is 2 years in. I was like, we're on SoundCloud at that point. We weren't with any real distribution yet.
Right.
And I said, here, listen to the song. It's a Wildlife. Me and Fez had already done it. And I played it for him. He goes, oh my God, you're so good. And I'm like, no, no, we're not, but thank you. And he goes, well, wouldn't you know it? I have a buddy with a recording studio, and I am also a musician. I'm a drummer. I was like, what a small world. It's Delaware. There's 9 of us, and 10 of us are in this room.
Yep.
Pretty much.
It's about how that works.
Yep.
So he says, well, I have a buddy named Kirby, and he has a studio in Milford, and you should really go meet him. So Artie, much to his credit, I should give him more credit really than I do, because he got this whole thing rolling with just helping, just like not even thinking about it. I'm sure I'm sure he was just throwing a musician towards Kirby, but it turned out to be a real big thing, I guess, for at least us in our lives. He goes, I got a guy named Kirby. I'm going to take you out to dinner, take you to Mississippi, introduce you to Tyler Green, who used to run open mics over there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know him?
I do.
Yeah. So great guy.
Yep.
He's like, I'm going to introduce you to Tyler Green, and then we're going to go over to Kirby's. So went to Mississippi, had a beer, not a fan of beer or IPA, to be honest with you. Right. A little bit bitter for me. And then we went over to Kirby's, shook Kirby's hand, and Artie stood up and said, my job is done. Got his car and left. And I've seen him maybe 3 times since then. Not a bad way. We text every once in a while, but just, it was like a guiding angel bringing us into Electric Fossil. And for 5 years, I think, we worked with Kirby.
Thanks for watching this clip of Recall the Podcast. Make sure to check out the full episode if you have the time. We do a highlight video once a week and a brand new episode every month. Peace and love, y'all.